Hello, this is Sandeep Garg from GSI, and I would like to discuss with you some important questions based on the topographical maps. The first question is, what do you mean by the key of a map? What do you mean by the key of a map? The answer is, the key of a map explains the meaning of the symbols. The key of the map explains the meaning of the symbols that are used in the map. It is also known as legend. It is also known as legend. The next question is, into how many categories have the maps been classified? Into how many categories have the maps been classified? On the basis of size, maps can be classified into two categories. On the basis of size, maps can be classified into two categories: large scale maps and small scale maps. Large scale maps and small scale maps. Large scale maps, okay, for example, you can give cadastral maps and topographical maps. Cadastral maps and topographical maps. And the examples of small scale maps are atlas maps and wall maps. The examples of small scale maps are atlas maps and wall maps, right? You all are aware of the grid system that you use in the topographical maps, okay, the crisscross of eastings and northings. So that crisscross is known as national grid reference. So the question is, what is the national grid reference? What is the national grid reference? Grid lines are imaginary lines. So the answer is, grid lines are imaginary lines drawn on a survey map in red color. Grid lines are imaginary lines drawn on a survey map in red color. The origin of the grid is a point southwest of the map. The origin of the grid is a point southwest of the map. Okay, so the left hand side bottom corner of the map is the point of origin of the grid, right? Now, okay, this is also an important question. You write this one. What is a flat land? What is a flat land? So the answer is, land varying between 20 meters to 40 meters above sea level is called flat land. Land varying between 20 meters to 40 meters above sea level is called flat land. So this type of area has sufficient scope for natural drainage. This type of area has sufficient slope for natural drainage, and this type of area is also generally suitable for farming. This type of area is also generally suitable for farming. But to identify whether the land area given in your topographical sheet is suitable for cultivation or not, or whether cultivation is carried out or not, you have to look for the yellow wash. You have to look for the yellow wash, right? Now, the next question is, I generally find students fumbling with this one. What do you understand by a causeway? What do you understand by a causeway? Now, mind it, a causeway is not a bridge. A causeway is not a bridge, right? It is just a raised metal road. Okay, the answer is, it is a raised metal road constructed over a stream. It is a raised metal road constructed over a stream, river, railway line, or low-lying marshy area. Okay? It is a raised metal road constructed over a stream, river, railway line, or low-lying marshy area. Okay, the next question is, yeah, this is a good one. How is the importance of a settlement reflected in a map? How is the importance of a settlement reflected in a map? That means, how will you ascertain or how will you identify an important settlement? Like, what are the features will you find in an important settlement? The importance of settlement is reflected by its size. First of all, The importance of a settlement is reflected by its size. Size means like you'll find a number of huts there. Okay, you'll find a number of huts or houses there, and the number of routes which meet there. The routes may be in the form of metal roads or cart tracks, and you will also find some important civic amenities there: dispensary, डाक bungalow, police station, inspection bungalow, post and telegraph office. So if you find all these civic amenities, and if the settlement is well connected with various kind of routes, then you can very well, for sure, you can say yes, that it is an important settlement, right? Now we will also see some other important questions. This one is very simple. What are the three methods of indicating scale on maps? What are the three methods of indicating scale on maps? The three methods are by statement method, by representative fraction, that is your ratio, and by a graphical scale or linear scale. By a graphical scale or a linear scale. Now, this question. What is a watershed? What is a watershed? Now, watershed is also known by another name. What is it? What is it? Yes, you are correct. It is a water divide. It is a water divide. So, what is a watershed or a water divide? A watershed or a water divide is a ridge. A watershed or water divide is a ridge which separates the tributaries draining towards one side from those draining towards the other. I'm repeating, a watershed or a water divide is a ridge which separates the tributaries draining towards one side of it from those draining towards the other. Correct? Now, okay, this is the last question in this one. What is a nodal center? What is a nodal center? So you write the answer. A town which is at the junction of many routes. A town which is at the junction of many routes is usually very important and is known as a nodal center. So a town which is at the junction of many routes and is usually very important is known as a nodal center. Okay? A nodal center will generally have a very dense settlement. It will have a very dense settlement. Big towns having dense settlements, they reflect the availability of industry and commerce. Okay, it means that town or that settlement is very important from the availability of industries and commerce. Means a number of economic activities take place there. Maybe there is the reason behind is the availability of minerals and a number of other employment opportunities in that town. Now, what are the two methods? What are the two methods by means of which distances can be measured on the map? How will you measure distances on the map? So there are two methods, very simple. There are two methods of measuring distance on the topo sheets. One is a direct method. Direct method is also known as crow fly distance method, and the other one is indirect method, that is using a string. Okay, that is using a string. So although I think for this year, okay, your string part, okay, using the string part has been cancelled. Okay, it will not be used probably this year, right? So these are the questions, okay, for today, and the other questions will be covered in the next part. Okay, thank you so much.